Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal, just in case you're new here, and today I have the mid-year book freakout tag. I decided to do this tag. I kind of do this tag every year since I started my Booktube channel. I just feel like it's a really good tag to do, especially since it is now June 1st, which is kind of, by the time this video goes up, it's going up this week. It's the middle of the year and I'm kind of freaking out because I went through my whole Goodreads list of books that I've read and I feel like I haven't read a diverse amount of books at all this year. And I'm like, oh, like that's all I read? So I gotta get on that. But by doing this mid-year tag, it kind of just makes you reflect a little bit on your year of reading and kind of put into focus and prioritize your reading for the rest of the year. So if you're reading books that you're just not liking, it's okay to DNF them, move on, and get to reading because there's only 6 more months left of the year. So I will leave the original creators, if they still have channels, down below in the description bar. I don't know if they all still have channels or not, but the original creators will be linked down below if they are. Well, let's just get into the tag. The first question is the best book you've read so far in 2020. And for me, this beauty, I Know This Much Is True by Wally Lamb. I loved this book so much. I thought it was the most well-written book that I've ever read. And I feel really accomplished. This is an adult fiction book. It deals with heavy topics. It deals with mental illness. It deals with things that just go wrong in life in general and family and death. And it's just, there's just so much in here. A lot of grief talk in here, but it was just such an amazing piece of work and a piece of art. And I absolutely love this book. I will cherish it forever and I will reread it eventually in the future. Normally I don't gravitate towards books like these, but I'm starting to notice myself as I'm getting older that I am reaching more for the adult fiction every once in a while just to kind of read some more substance, if you know what I mean. The next question is, best sequel you've read so far for 2020. I haven't read a sequel. I haven't read really anything of a series. Just like, I guess like I read House of Earth and Blood, so that's like the start of a new series, but and also The Unspoken Name by A.K. Larkwood, which was also a start of a series, but I haven't read any sequels yet, which is pretty crazy. I really want to read the sequel to The Devouring Grey called The Deck of Omens. I really enjoyed the Devouring Grey last year, so that will be a sequel that I get to hopefully this summer. I just haven't gotten to any sequels yet. Number 3, a new release you haven't read yet but want to. For that is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I just ordered it in my Book of the Month box, so I cannot wait to get that. I'm so excited for that book. I love Riley Sager as a person. I love his writing. I love his books. Amazing, amazing stories that he writes. And he's a true horror fan. So anybody who gets the chance to actually speak with him, it's a great conversation. If you talk horror movies with him, he's awesome. He knows so many amazing crazy facts about horror movies through the years, but he bases a lot of his books on slasher movies and ghost movies and all that stuff that he's absorbed over the years. So he's a horror guru and I really enjoy his books so much. Number 4, most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and I have a couple of those. I have One by One by Ruth Ware, which is coming out September 9th. I'm really excited for that one. It sounds pretty atmospheric. I believe it takes place on a mountain, and there's like, is there an avalanche or something? Something crazy happens. And it sounds, as most Ruth Ware books, you know, something crazy happens. So I'm really excited to read that one. I also have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Very much excited for that one. I have been waiting for that book for, it seems like years. She's been talking about this book for years and struggling to write it. Her blood, sweat, and tears have gone into this book, so I cannot wait to read that. Also, A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. This will be an adult, like, dark academia magic school book, and I cannot wait to read it. I don't necessarily always love Naomi Novik's books, but this just sounds so good. She's a great person. I met her at BookCon one year and we had a really great conversation. So I enjoy her as a person, not so much her books, but I still have yet to read a couple of her books. So hopefully maybe I'll read a couple, you know, a few of them before the new release. That comes out September 29th of this year. Then I have here, which is a month from now, Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power. Sounds like a phenomenal book, and I can't even tell you why I feel like it sounds phenomenal, but it just sounds phenomenal. So July 7th is when that comes out, and it just sounds like the perfect book for me, and I cannot wait for that. I couldn't pick one anticipated release. I have like a whole list of them, but those are the ones that I'm really like looking forward to. Number 5, biggest disappointment. My biggest disappointment this year was Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill. I just did not like it at all. I felt like it would have worked great as a short story. I felt like a lot of unnecessary things were in there, and you could just tell that it was like a first novel. And I was just shocked that like it kind of got published. I don't know. It's terrible to say that. I just did not like it. I know it's a lot of people's favorite, but I think I was just maybe comparing him and his father too much. I don't really know going into it, but I will say that I liked a lot of points to the story. I loved the description of the ghost. I loved, you know, the music references in there. I really liked that part of it because it set the tone of the story, but I could have done without that one. Number 6, my biggest surprise, and that would be Bunny by Mona Awad. I sat on this reading for, I guess, like a week and a half. Until my live discussion of this book with my friends. I needed to talk about this book in order to show like how much I actually really liked it. Bunny was really interesting. If you see my May wrap up, you would know that it's an interesting story. It's not for everybody. I just really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought. I originally gave it a 3-star rating, and then when I sat in it and had my book club discussion about it, I was like, wait a minute, like this is like a 4.5 star book. Like I actually enjoy this a lot more than I thought I did, even though the book scared the crap out of me and I had to throw it across this room because I was just like, what did I just read? But it's not like horror scary. It's just like, it bugs you out. Like it's just like bugged me out, the book. It's definitely a story I'll remember forever, and it was 100% my biggest surprise this year. Number 7, favorite new author to me or a debut author. I chose Tarryn Fisher, author of The Wives, which is right here, this beautiful book right here. Tarryn Fisher, first of all, really love her Instagram. I love the things that she posts. She's a feminist. She loves being a woman, and she posts the most empowering things on her Instagram. Number 2, The Wives was, I wouldn't say it's the best written story, because it's not, but that last page got me. Like, that was so good. The power behind her writing is just phenomenal. So I can't wait to read more from her. She doesn't have that many published works, but I know she's close with Colleen Hoover, and Colleen Hoover kind of took her under her wing and showed her the ropes of writing, basically. So I'm really curious to read more from her, more than anybody that I've read so far this year. So if you read anything from Tarryn Fisher and you enjoy her writing, please let me know what you've read by her. I would love to know. Then number 8 is fictional new crush. And normally I don't have crushes on characters. Like, I think I'm kind of past that point, but I really was crushing on Hunt from House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. I loved his character so much, and he was an angel, and it was just, he kind of reminded me of Rice, but like all the good things I liked about Rice, not like the bad stuff that I hated about Rice. He didn't have those qualities. He was just good to read about. And yeah, I'd say that I want to read more about Hunt, and I really, yeah, I like him a lot. Number 9, newest favorite character. I would say Dominic from This I Know. This much I know is true. I can't say it right, by Wally Lamb. I think Dominic was such an amazing character, and his growth from the beginning of the book to the end of the book, it's just, I feel like I knew him. I feel like I know him personally at the end of the book, and I just really love his character. Like, love his character. Book that made you cry, and of course, I Know This Much Is True by Molly Lamb. Definitely made me cry numerous times. This was just a crying book. A book that made you happy. I would say The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. This book made me so happy because it was just such a fun story. It was so nostalgic for the 90s, the references. I just had such a fun time reading this book. That's really what this book made me so happy because I had the best time ever reading it. Because during this quarantine, this is the most exciting thing that I've done during this quarantine was read this book. So definitely The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite of the year because it's not that complex, but it's just such a fun, quirky book, and I highly suggest it. It's totally a Grady Hendrix-esque book. So if you read things from him in the past, you're gonna love this book. So definitely pick it up. And the next question is number 12. Most beautiful book you bought all year. And I would say The Grace Year by Kim Lidgett. I mean, the color scheme of this, the flower detailing, it's just gorgeous. And then on the inside, the end papers are beautiful. The cover itself, sorry, I got suntan lotion on it because I had it by the pool yesterday. All around, the most beautiful pink book that I own, and I just love it. I love the girl with the braid because I'm a hairdresser and I just love things with hair, movement, braids, beautiful. Definitely the most beautiful book. And I'm currently reading this, so it might be beautiful on the outside as much as it is on the inside. I will let you know. 13, which is the final question of this tag. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? Well, there's a lot of books that I want to read by the end of the year, but a series that I need to finish this year and get to is the Throne of Glass series. I purchased this from Book Depository, just in case you were wondering. I want to adopt this as my challenge for the last half of the year, is to complete the entire Throne of Glass series. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this series. I personally didn't love it when I read the first book, which I read Throne of Glass a couple years back. I felt like it was very juvenile, but everyone keeps telling me to push on and keep going and read it because it's just that good. So yeah, and there's a witchy character in here, Manon, that a lot of people say that I will love because I love witches and stories. So really looking forward to getting to this. This is really heavy. So this is my main concern for books that I need to finish by the end of the year. But along with reading this series, I have many books that I'd like to complete. I have some Stephen King books that I really want to get to. I've never read Christine, so I'd really like to read that this year. I also would really like to read Nightmares and Dreamscapes, which is a short story collection by Stephen King that I have not read yet. Yeah, so I have a lot of books to get to, but can't really name them all off the top of my head. Plus, I've been such a mood reader, but if I just set this goal for myself, for now, I won't feel so much pressure, you know, to read. There's just so many books and so little time to read them. That is it. That is it for my mid-year book freakout tag. If you want to do this tag, please consider yourself tagged. I haven't seen anyone's videos up yet for it, but I'm sure there will be plenty. This is a video that has been cherished throughout the years. So many booktubers do this video every year. So I am glad that I got it done, and it made me kind of just realize, wow, I did read a lot of books, but I need to kind of revamp my TBR now and read a little bit more diversely and incorporate a lot more different books in there instead of reading just your basic mystery or something like that, like something that really intrigues me. So for the last half of the year are going to strictly just be books that I want to read and not books that everyone else has been reading. And if you want to see more tag videos from me, please just like and subscribe down below, and I'll be talking to you guys soon. Bye!